Okay, welcome back to Stories from the River. I hope everyone is doing well. We've just launched our Elevate Your Purpose series with Davin Salvagno. Episode 1 of a 4-part series dropped this past Thursday. And so we've had a really big week this past week. And when we have big weeks like this, it's kind of time to reflect.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
We had a grand opening for our brand new Salisbury Ashley store and outlet with a massive expanded sleep gallery, and that went really well. We've got High Point Market coming up this weekend, and we had an Elevate Your Purpose series in person for 2 days with Davin Salvagno. He came and spoke to our memory makers in Fort Mill on the Thieves of Purpose, which is a topic for his new book, The Thief of Purpose. And we had our good friends from New York, New Jersey, the Crinians from Factory Direct Enterprises in town. And they came to our grand opening with us. They also attended the CBMC or CNBC breakfast, which was a keynote talk with Truist Field with Mark Whitaker. And so we had a big monumental week. But as we were getting into the story of, as we're getting into the Elevate Your Purpose series, I thought it'd be good to kind of go through Broad River's story of purpose itself and how we came up with our organizational purpose statement, Furnishing Life's Best Memories, and what we've talked about with our year of purpose and our purpose activation committee. So I'm going to rewind the clock a little bit. We'll go back a year before the pandemic. So this is pre-pandemic. So let's see. Let's start with early 2017. I'll go back a little bit before that. Early 2017, we, as a leadership team at Broad River, we had a mission and core values, and we were working on trying to come up with an organizational purpose statement. We wanted to come up with a purpose statement and a vision statement. And where we ended up, we wrestled with it as a leadership team, and the purpose statement, it kept, wherever we landed, kept falling flat. Felt a little bit sterile or like corporate speak, but we ended up with a vision statement that we rallied behind, and we launched that to our company at a leadership summit in 2017, August 2017, and it was to be the premier Ashley home store licensee or operator, if you will. And so with that, we followed that up in 2018 with our premier year, just to hang on. We've talked about words of the year and annual themes. And so we talked about being premier and what it means to be premier. And we did that all year. We like to say, with regards to being premier, we're chasing the AFL title every year. That doesn't really even exist. We made that title up. AFL standing for Ashley Furniture League, a playoff of pursuing the Super Bowl and the championship, like if you were in the NFL. And the end goal being to win the Chairman's Award, which ironically enough, Broad River Retail won for the second time ever in 2022. But I digress. So back to this leadership event in August of 2017. Around that time, or a little bit before then, preparing for that leadership summit, I was going on a family vacation, and I continued the study of organizational purpose, and we were studying other companies' mission statements, vision statements, and purpose statements. And not every company had one of each. Some had mission, some had vision, some had purpose. One company had a purpose statement that we were good friends with, Hill Country Holdings, and my good friend Gary Seals. And so I asked him about it. I said, Gary, how'd you come up with your purpose statement? It's really good. We really like it. And he said, I read a book. I got recommended a book, and it's this book right here, The Story of Purpose by Joey Ryman. And he said, and that inspired me and us to come up with this purpose statement. I said, okay. So I started reading this book, The Story of Purpose, watching Joey Ryman on YouTube, listening to some of his talks and podcast episodes and things that I found on YouTube. And I was going on a family trip taking our boys to the beach, and it was Hall of Fame football weekend. I was listening to some of the Hall of Fame speeches, I think at that time by like Kurt Warner and some of these folks. And around that time, just synthesizing where our leadership team had been and where we had wrestled and everything else. But we were on the verge of launching our vision statement to our organization. I just got inspired by these 4 words for our purpose statement. But I didn't think it was appropriate to go hey, we got it. There's a eureka moment. There's this illumination moment. The light bulb just went off, and say, hey, here's the purpose statement. And we had wrestled with it as a leadership team and fell short. And also there's a little bit of uncertainty about, long-term where our company was going to be. I was a minority owner at the time. And so were Manny and Workman, who were on our team, our leadership team. And we wanted to make sure that we wanted to make sure we understood long-term what was going to happen with the company. And so I shared the 4 words, furnishing life's best memories, with my wife. I actually told Manny and Workman, I said, hey, I think I've got something here, but I don't want to bring it up or mention it to anyone. I'm just going to seal it, basically sealed it in the back of my mind in an envelope and just left it locked. Fast forward about 11 months, and because that was around July 17, August 17, and then fast forward 10 or 11 months, we completed a management buyout. And Manny and Workman and I bought out Jonathan Ishii, an investor at that time. And so we kind of pushed all of our chips into the middle, back into the company and essentially saying, hey, we're going all in on this business for the long term. And we like to say we're long-term thinkers about the business. We're not day trading on the business. It means a lot to us. And we're going to try to steward it as well as we can and really embrace the responsibility of that and shoulder that responsibility. And so once we kind of knew the long-term, part of Broad River was secure, I said, hey guys, remember that thing about the purpose statement? Do you guys want to see what I kind of had written down? And they said, yeah, we've been kind of waiting 11 months to see it. So this was around July of 2018. And so I said, okay, I don't know how everyone's going to react to this, but here it is. Furnishing life's best memories, and walked them through kind of the meaning and the syntax of each of those 4 words. And I'll go through those in just a second. I said, but first we got to take that to our leadership team. We got to let's reopen the debate. It's been a year since we decided on our vision statement, and let's go back through it. And I talked to them about this book, Joey Ryman's book, The Story of Purpose. And so we, they loved it. They said, yeah, that sounds perfect. That's great. Went through it with our leadership team. We wrestled with it a little bit, and we agreed as a leadership team, that's really good. I said, okay, now no one knows about this other than us. What would be an appropriate way to launch it? And so we said, well, let's go film we'd gotten in the habit of doing these chat with the champs and doing interviews with some of it was pre-podcast, pre-Stories from the River, and doing some interviews with our top performers. And we said, let's go interview them. And one of the questions we'll ask them about what are their top memories at Broad River. And we did that, and they didn't know kind of what they were doing. And we put those answers into an Essence video, which is a signature link, a link on the bottom of our email signature that goes out from every email that we send to the Essence video that we did to launch our purpose statement. So Furnishing Life's Best Memories, it's talking about their best memories with a guest at home, or their memories with furniture and things of that nature.
A house is not a home without furniture. It's where memories are made.
Home is where you have your best memories.
Furniture makes memories. Well, you get to help make those memories.
We all have events that we host.
Getting together for a barbecue.
Holidays, parties.
Thanksgiving.
The excitement those guests get to bring people into their homes and share the experience that I've helped create.
We have to take responsibility for the fact that Broad River Retail exists for a purpose. And that purpose is to make other people's lives better.
And so we also said, well, how else could we make a big splash to unveil this at our upcoming leadership summit? So we reached out to Joey Ryman. The guy who wrote the book and inspired the way to come up with the purpose statement, we flew him in. He gave a talk. We flew in Inky Johnson. We had a big leadership summit. We did a big unveiling at that leadership summit in August 2018, 1 year later. And so also wanted to make sure that these 4 words would have staying power. Not just that the company would have staying power, but the 4 words would have staying power. So they kind of just incubated for 11 months before they got shared with anyone other than my wife. And so here it is. Furnishing. We're literally in the home furnishings business, but furnishing can have other meanings. It can be about providing, creating, nourishing, empowering. It's a good anchor word for us. Life. So, we think life is precious. I don't mean that as a political statement. It's just like a belief statement. Like life is precious, it's to be cherished. And also like, as a company, we had some near-death experiences. And the way I like to say it is anytime you've had a near-death experience, what do you appreciate more than anything? Breath in your body, just that you're so much more grateful for life moving forward. And so as a company, that was kind of like the metaphor for having had a near-death experience or 2 or 3 of them to now having kind of new life as a company. And so there was some double meanings there. And then best, our vision was to be the best, and that comes from a spirit of humility. Like we don't think we'll ever arrive there, but it's just this aspirational goal to go compete with the best of the best and to be honored to be a licensee and to go kind of battle it out in the top league and the top division, so to speak. Also, just from our faith beliefs is, my personal belief is that I think God wants his best for his people. And also that biblically, I want to give my best. I want to optimize my potential. I want to do what I need to do to kind of give my best. So as a company, we want to do our best, be our best, give our best. And also our corporate partner, Ashley Furniture Industries, their mission is to be the best furniture company. So that word meant a lot for us. And then maybe the most controversial of the 4 words was this word memories. And the way I kind of like to explain it is it's this perfect juxtaposition of the past and the future coming together in the present day. So we have this win the day mantra, this win the day mindset. We don't have subscribers. We don't have passive recurring revenues, although that would be nice. We're not like the cable company or Netflix or Disney Plus or something like that, or Amazon Prime. We don't have monthly recurring revenue. We literally have to go and get new business every single day. And that's our business model. It's not a business model for everyone. That's the game we're playing. And so part of memories is, hey, we all have these great memories that like inspire us, that we remember, that we've had, and kind of like when you learn how to ride a bike, you had these, you're not going to fall off a bike because you kind of learned how to ride it, right? And these memories prop you up. But also you've got these future goals, dreams, aspirations, future memories that you want to have that propel you forward. And so we just take the business model of trying to win the day and focusing on the day and the guest in front of us into this word memory. So it's both the acknowledging the past memories that we've had that have propped us up and the future memories that we want to have. So furnishing life's best memories, that's what we're about. That's our organizational why. And then just to drill that home, we said, well, hey, how do we reinforce that? Well, we've always kind of wrestled with, do we call our folks teammates, associates, constituents, employees, and the like? And there's other words that you could come up with. And we said, what if we called ourselves memory makers? And we believe we like to say purpose begins with identity. And so reinforcing that we are memory makers just links the identity to the organizational purpose. How can we forget it? We're literally memory makers in the business of furnishing life's best memories. And then the way we like to talk about it is, it's great to have a vision, mission, and core values. These are one side of the brain, right? And so the vision, and Joey kind of goes into it in his book, Joey Ryman. The vision would be like your GPS coordinates, like where you're going or who you want to become in the future. So it's very much future oriented. Your mission are like your daily disciplines, your rituals, your habits, your routines. It's what you do to achieve your vision, okay? What you repeatedly do. And then the values or the guiding principles, the core values or guiding principles are how you behave, how you act, behave, treat each other, treat your guests, treat your community, treat your neighbors. That supports the mission, which supports the vision. That's great. Those are all kind of strategic and tactical. It's the where or the who, it's the what, and it's the how. Okay, so then purpose, and those are all kind of like from your brain, right? But then the purpose is the heart of the matter. It's why you do what you do. So furnishing life's best memories. And that's how we like visualize and talk about the difference. So Joey talks about, hey, once you come up with your brand purpose or your organizational purpose, you can't just let it like sit on paper like, hey, great job. We're all done. We came up with the organizational purpose, we're going to move on to the next thing. And we said, no, that's not what we're about at Broad River. We really got to let it be installed. We got to immerse ourselves in it. And so what we decided to do, he's got a framework that in his book that he talks about is be it, do it, say it. So we really got to live it out, and we have to be willing to hold ourselves accountable to being it, doing it, and saying it. And so from that matter, we said we're going to form a purpose activation committee. And so we formed that PAC, we called it the PAC, and we got together once a week for 16 months to read books, to study, to talk about it, to figure out how we could activate purpose within our organization. We assigned Heather Greenwood to lead the Purpose Activation Committee. And here's some of the readings that we came across. So not just Joey Ryman's book, which I recommend via audiobook or the written book. Also this book, beautiful book, The Invisible Leader by Zach Mercurio. Great book. My copy of this book is heavily marked up. We talked about Davin Salvagno's book, Finding Purpose at Work. We talked about that on his episode. This one here, we had Justin Jones Fosu come and speak to our organization at our Purpose Summit in 2019. I'll get to that in a second. Your Why Matters Now. Here's a beautiful book by Dr. Nicholas Pierce, The Purpose Path. That's a great one. Leading with Purpose by Nick Craig, who Davin talked about on his episode, his podcast. That's another one we like. Zach had recommended this one, and this is a wonderful book. Everybody Matters by Bob Chapman and Raj Sisodia. Raj Sisodia was the co-author of Conscious Capitalism, and a lot of these things about being this triple bottom line and being for your stakeholders, your employees, your customers, your partners, your community, your neighbor, your planet, and all ripple effects of how the business impacts and who it impacts really was inspired by the movement of the conscious capitalism movement, which like great companies like Whole Foods or the Container Store kind of talked about, Tom Shoes and things of that nature. Blake Mykoski talked about it, but so does Bob Chapman in this book. So it's a great book, Everybody Matters. Okay, so those were some of the books we would read every week. Then we would do different things like we said, let's take purpose on the road. So we had done this Orange Crush tour. We then for 2 years in a row in 2017 and 2018. So one of the things we said was, when we came up with our annual theme for 2019, we said, okay, we're just coming off our premier year, which linked to our vision statement. We're going to have our year of purpose, which links to our purpose statement that we had just unveiled the following year. So for 2019, our annual word was purpose, and it was our year of purpose. And from that, we said, let's take purpose on the road. So for our third annual Orange Crush tour, which we did 26 stops, I think we hit 24 stores for like a half day or a full day session, and then both of our campuses at that time. And so we called it our Memory Maker Tour. And this was our annual kickoff and our full playbook, which we had a daily planner and questions to ask yourself and goals and monthly reviews. And this was a big playbook that we had, but and we took purpose on the road, and we unpacked the purpose statement and did like basically 26 town halls. Within these town halls, and I've talked about the Orange Crush tours in the past, we had purposeful spaces. So the stores would set up a room and it would be inspired through how they're going to activate furnishing or how they're displaying furnishing life's best memories. And like our contact center did a phenomenal job with like heart, soul, and mind, that they kind of had different rooms inspired. It was just amazing. And stores really, really kind of took that and ran with it. We also had a purpose service project. So we built gift baskets together as a group and wrote notes for beds for kids and things of that nature. And then we kind of did purpose bombs, which were these big surprises and how you recognize and celebrate someone who's not expecting it and just shower them with love and recognition and celebration. Those were some of the things that we did with it. We had the purpose business plans. And so they had to kind of come into the Shark Tank and present their business plan. So a lot with the Orange Crush 3 Memory Maker Tour. And then we continued our study of purpose. We then had our own purpose summit later that summer. We called it on August 28th. Instead of calling it Purpose Day or the Purpose Event or Purpose Summit or Leadership Summit, we literally called it Purpose 828. And we had brought in all of these purpose speakers from around the country to speak at it, and also friends that we had known. So we transformed our Leadership Summit into a day of purpose and had a full day devoted to the topic of purpose and breakout sessions and just really embracing conversations. did purpose assessments with another book was The Purpose Economy by Aaron Hurst that we really got behind and studied, and his company, which had this purpose assessment that you could do. So we all went through that and had our purpose assessments and brought them in for a study and had this purpose software that we had launched. I think it was their group was Immersive, if I remember correctly, and peer-to-peer coaching and things of that nature. And then we also attended Purpose 2030, which they put on in New York City, which was, linking, like having a moonshot goal for where switching the Gallup poll that says 85% of people are not inspired by work to saying 85% of people are inspired by their work, and flipping that goal and that being the moonshot goal by 2030. So activating purpose at work. And then, another way that we do that here is like through these, just beginning with your first day. Like we do day one videos. We like to say everyone remembers their first day. And so we have a whole day one box, says welcome new memory maker, welcome home, and got all kinds of goodies in your day one box, whether whatever our annual mug or theme for the year is, nice little water bottle, playing cards, books and notes and things of that nature, and usually t-shirts and things of that nature. So you get a welcome home box. You get some welcome messages, maybe a welcome video, and just to say kind of welcome home. You made a good choice. We want your first day to be memorable. So how can we treat each other? And we like to say furnishing life's best memories. There is a period at the end of it, but you could literally imagine the period being removed and putting in parentheses for others or for other people, because it's how do we furnish life's best memories for our fellow memory makers, for the guests we have the privilege of serving day in and day out, who allow us to have a company, for the family members of our memory makers, for our partners, and that, having a healthy ecosystem of people who engage in business with us, for our partners and vendors, for our community and for our neighbors, and for the nonprofit organizations that we have the chance to volunteer at or to serve or give back to. So this would be furnishing life's best memories, and how we try to be intentional throughout why we do what we do. And our team has just responded to that. But, another way that manifests is when we do like private events. We link them to St. Jude or to Susan G. Komen or to Hope to Dream. And we raise money for these organizations through our secret sales and through our private events. So we try to use business as a force for good and how we kind of steward the business in that way. And it was all born coming out of our launching our vision statement in 2017, writing the purpose statement down, sealing it for like 11 months, unveiling it once we had the long-term view of the company set, then being intentional and taking about 6 weeks to plan a summit which included an essence video. And we'll link to that here in the show notes. Unveiling that to the team and then saying, hey, it's not just about the big unveiling. By the way, at the unveiling, we had commissioned a big, beautiful piece of artwork from a local artist to kind of capture the essence of what furnishing life's best memories means from just our notes and conversations and her interpretation. We actually also brought someone at these leadership summits and to do the live drawing art and capture all the speakers' notes and then digitize those. And then we share those back out with our folks and into the community and share them on LinkedIn and things of that nature. And so be it, do it, say it, activate it. And we did that with the Purpose Activation Committee for 16 months for the rest of 2018, all through 2019. We took Purpose on the road through our Memory Maker tour. We Orange Crush 3. We activated it throughout all of our stores with purpose bombs, purposeful spaces, purpose service projects, activating it with different things of that nature, and then trying to just activate it everywhere we went, and then learning about it and trying to learn how do you link vocational purpose or personal purpose with organizational purpose, and really diving deep into studying that and studying the thought leaders in this emerging space. As how do we use business as a force for good and make sure that we are mindful of our organizational ripple effect that we have and who we come in contact with and all the triple bottom line and all the stakeholders and folks who we have come in contact with, not just our four walls, but the four walls of others in the Ashley Network, others in home furnishings, others in our communities, others in the country, that we get the chance to kind of share with and speak with, all because we've learned from others. We've stood on the shoulders of giants. So how can we just pay it forward just a little bit with what we do every day, why we do what we do and what we do every day. So we survived our trials and tribulations for a reason. We had to really do some soul searching for what that reason was. And then attending conferences, like Purpose 2030 after we did Purpose 828. So we did all that to really activate it and indoctrinate it and install it for a full 16 months and for a full year, for a year of purpose. And so that's a little bit of the story about it and how it kind of came to be. It was marinating for 11 months. It got unveiled. We unveiled it intentionally. And then we spent several months. And so to really anchor our company and tether it to this organizational why of furnishing life's best memories. So hopefully you enjoy this bit of episode during the middle of this Davin Salvano series. It's good refresher to kind of get back into the organizational why for why we do what we do. And it'll be good for folks who have joined our company since then and haven't had a chance to hear this. Maybe they can hear the message here today if they haven't been through Retail 101. Sometimes I share some of this during Retail 101 or others do, but it's good to kind of pass down stories like Davin talked about of your company's purpose point. And so how we came up with our organizational purpose was a purpose point for Broad River. And I remember someone said, hey, I think the purpose was always there. So I think just the 4 words synthesize what we maybe have always been about since our founding and since we kind of through the pits of the valleys that we survived. So if you are in a valley, you can survive it. Go back to your why and just hold the faith, hold fast. I know there's sometimes there's seasons that are not always as strong as they need to be or as positive as they need to be. But if you can go back to your organizational why or your personal why, sometimes that can help you get through it. If you have any other questions on purpose or the study of purpose or what other books that we studied or read, please hit us up. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Amazon or Apple or Spotify podcasts. And hey, in the spirit of furnishing life's best memories, go have an awesome day and make a positive memory today, one of your life's best. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with more content from Stories from the River.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.